get back now to the mind and motive of some of the biggest cases happening in the Valley. First up, on Tuesday, a new Senate bill was announced that would bolster Arizona's animal cruelty laws. It comes after a major case in Chandler back in September that saw dozens of dogs seized from the home of April McLaughlin. Chandler investigators also reported finding some dead dogs inside the kitchen freezer of her home. She faces over 100 counts of animal abuse, cruelty, and vulnerable adult abuse. Earlier this month, prosecutors announced they would move forward with felony charges against McLaughlin. Psychologist Dr. Katherine Kuhlman of Kuhlman Psychology and Consulting joining me once again. Katherine, you know, we see and hear cases of hoarding a lot, but this particular case was very disturbing for, obviously, as you just heard, several reasons here. But first off, explain the mind of a hoarder.
So I think in general, when we think about animal hoarding, there's a difference between animal hoarding and then malicious animal abuse. So in this case, right, we're talking a lot more about animal hoarding, and it's not technically a mental health condition, but it's really, it's compromised by multiple mental health problems. And so a lot of times you'll see obsessive compulsive problems, depression, sometimes some paranoia type of symptoms. And typically, actually, what it is that oftentimes the person that is hoarding animals actually has such a strong attachment to them. It starts off with good intentions. It's not that they're intentionally malicious.
Right, that they're trying to harm the dogs.
Right.
They want to do good.
They love them and they want more, and they form an attachment, and then they don't want to get rid of them.
Okay.
And then you walk into a house and it's an absolute mess and there's stuff everywhere. Right. But they don't think that, right? Like if you and I love something so much, we're willing to overlook some of the, like kids, for example, right?
Right.
We live within their mess.
Okay, but here's where the line is drawn, I feel like, where it goes sideways. Dead dogs found in the freezer. How do you explain that? I mean, how is that, gone from love to, I don't know.
Forgetting. You could forget, but it could also be like, I'm not ready to get rid of this because I love him. I love them so much. Oh. Right. I still want them in my home. I still want them in my life. Okay. I would, make a grave in the backyard personally, but not everyone chooses to do that. And there's something deeper going on.
Okay. Wow. All right, on to our second case. That involves a warning from the FBI that we told our viewers about yesterday. The agency says online predators are targeting mostly children and teens, offering social media fame and riches in exchange for explicit images or videos. It's called sextortion. The predators will then use those images to extort money from their victims. Of course, we know that these kinds of cases can be devastating for victims. There's shame, there's embarrassment, they don't want to say anything, there is guilt. So how do kids overcome this? And then how do parents, what do they do?
I mean, first, I'm so happy that I am not a teenager in this day and age.
I know.
But I think what we have to really explain to teens is this is not their fault. They were preyed upon by somebody else. And they were, typically it's like you're led to believe that this person has your best interests at heart, that they are interested in you, that they maybe even love you. You develop this attachment and you develop this trust, right? And so, it's difficult because then you have this message in your head for years and years to come of, I can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
It's going to make it difficult to be in romantic relationships, have a boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right, the ripple
forward.
But
it's difficult to overcome. Absolutely possible, though. We just have to let them remember that they are a victim here. They did nothing wrong.
That is a strong message. All right, Katherine, thank you so much for all your insight. And I know that we're going to see you come Monday at that town hall. I appreciate your time.